In the film, Steve Rogers keeps a checklist of all the great pop culture stuff he's missed out on in the last 50 years. So if you had to recommend anything for Steve, what would it be and why?
I think I would recommend that he check out Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it tickles the absurdist in me. And I want to know, did we get it right? Does it feel representative of your experience?
I want to ask a question. Basically, you guys have had such great and diverse careers. If you could take any one of the characters that you played and put them in the Marvel Universe, which would you pick and why?
Somebody who has better
I picked Mitch Hennessy from The Long Kiss Goodnight in the Marvel Universe just because he's just so childlike and would be in awe of everybody in there, but he would claim he had a superpower.
I would say Nate Ruffin from
Booty from The Man.
Booty from The Man. Stellar work on the part of Anthony Mackie. Once again, making Sam Jackson look good. I would say Nate Ruffin from We Are Marshall, because he was such a cool, hip cat.
In this world, it's a bit darker, characters are obviously a bit shady. How did you, without being corny, how did you keep that at the core? And also the other actors around it, how were you able to kind of like bounce off that, and were you inspired a bit by the character as well?
Well, I mean,
Actual question.
he just is a good man. I mean, it's just about developing a character, and hopefully, if you develop, I don't think the part of him that is a good man is necessarily dependent upon his environment. He's a good man, essentially in a vacuum. He's just a good person. He doesn't bleed on people. He has morals and values, and hopefully, you can put him anywhere, whether it's in the 40s or modern era, or whether it's a period film or a grittier political thriller. Hopefully, the qualities of who he is will still shine through.
Obviously, one of the key components of the Black Widow character is this enigmatic past, which is still affecting and defining her. But it seems at the end of this movie, at least, she's perhaps a little more receptive to maybe people knowing a bit more what that entails. So, would you, as an actress, be interested in going there and exploring that and realising it on film? Or do you think perhaps some things are left undefined and it could perhaps rob the character of some very intriguing mystery?
I think her backstory is, I mean, she has a rich past, as you already described. She definitely comes from a really dark past. I think she's kind of had to be she's had to sort of desensitize or dehumanize in a way to be able to do and see some of the things that she's seen and participated in willingly. And I think probably most people that have that kind of job description, a mercenary, they do. But I think she's just sort of now grappling with the fact that she may be experiencing some trauma from that, or at least that she has feelings about the things that maybe she doesn't sleep so well at night.
In this film, your character has slightly more dramatic beats than it's had perhaps in the other Marvel films that perhaps be a little bit more to like the humour that you bring, whereas this one there's a more serious tone to your performance. I wondered how that affects your experience when acting in this film particularly compared to the others.
I approach all of it the same way. You show up, you look at the relationships, what's going on, take it all seriously, and still have as much fun as you can on the inside of it. I'm really glad that we saw more of Nick and what happens with him, and how he reacts to situations. But as usual, he's always trying to be 3 steps ahead, and all of a sudden when he finds out he's been used in another kind of way, it's incumbent upon him to find out why, and use all the tools that he has at his disposal to make that happen. And as usual, part of it has to do with subterfuge and diversion.
It used to be that films were very much standalone, and the one thing Marvel has done fantastically well as actors and writers and directors is create that universe. I'm wondering, does that affect the approach to making the movie when you haven't just got one story to tell, you've got a piece to tell, you're already planning, going up against Batman in 2 years' time? Does that have to be a longer game, as it were, in the way you approach it?
It is a giant mosaic, and it's a very ambitious undertaking. It's probably as ambitious as movies have ever gotten, just in terms of the scale and the amount of films that they're making that are interconnected. But the real secret sauce to that is Kevin Feige at Marvel, who is this auteur producer. He's quite brilliant at what he does in terms of, keeping that interconnectedness, but also focusing on the movie at hand. He's very good about not putting any constraints on the film that he's working on, because he has the belief that if you're thinking about the future, then you're not going to make the best movie that you can right now.
And I'm forever wounded from these movies. I have old injuries from Iron Man 2 days, and I just keep re-injuring them. That's part of the joy. It's not part of the joy. It's part of the process, I guess. I mean, like Chris said, it gets, as you sustain more injuries over time, and it hurts for longer and things like that. But I don't know, it's, I guess I like to be able to do as much of the stunt work as possible.
We sort of prepared for months doing those fight sequences, so I honestly wouldn't feel anything until I was in the car on the way home when I couldn't get out of the seat, like being dropped off at the hotel. But I'm sure we hurt each other.
You didn't hurt me.
You? I haven't even. This is the first time I'm seeing you.
That's what I said. It's quite nice to work with you.
Thank you.
And Sam, you weren't on the end of a Frank Grillo punch at any point, but
Me?
yeah. Did you get any injuries on this one? No.
I use my stuntman extensively. I have no issues with him being hurt. That's what he's paid to do, and he loves it. He's from a stunt family. His father was a stuntman. All of his brothers are stuntmen. Before they could eat breakfast in the morning, their dad kicked them down the stairs. Made them jump out the window, then come downstairs to get their breakfast. So I use Keontae more than, my God, he works more than I do sometimes. The interesting thing about the patches that I didn't discover until Captain America, the first one, was because I never had very many lines to say. It was when I all of a sudden had dialogue, and I would learn it the night before when I got to work. I could only see half the page when I was captain. So I discovered that I have to actually learn my lines now with one hand covering my eyes.
Scarlett, you are a musician as well as an actress. I was wondering if the rest of you have any hidden music ability, and if you'd want to do Captain America the musical.
Nah.
You sorry?
I can deal with the trumpet a little bit. Growing up in New Orleans, you have to learn the instrument, so I can deal with the trumpet. I'm nice on the spoons. I can do a funky beat, Oh shit. Let's say some turntables,
So in other words, no.
You previously said you've got a 9-picture contract with Marvel.
Damn, kid.
That's what happened to the rest of my DVD.
Exactly. You don't pay for karaoke.
Could you possibly see your character becoming Captain America in the future?
I hope so, in 9 movies.
I have no idea, man. I really don't know. I'm still like trying to, realize that I'm sitting up here with these guys, So I'm wherever those two fellas want to take, the stories where I'm going. So, and also this.
Thank you.
Plans to suitably up the ante, and do you think you might see another Avenger?
Celebrity boxing match. That's what we're working on right now. No, I don't know. I think who said this best? That when two cars are speeding at each other, one of them's got to veer out of the way at some point. So
hell yeah! Put it out there, baby. Go ahead, tell them, man. Tell them.
Listen, I think Marvel. I think announced that date originally. It was if you go back historically and look at it, Marvel and I think Sony have been trading off on that May date for a long time. And I think when Warner Brothers decided to move that film, they moved it to the May date. So I can see where Kevin said, "Well, I'm not moving off that date."
Boom.
So
Yup, deal with that.
So I don't think there'll be anything to up the ante other than that, you know, hopefully we make a great movie and everybody's very excited to see it on, was it May 5th or May 6th? And
I mean, that's the truth, is anybody up here is just, all we can do is make focus on making the best movie we can make, and when and how it gets released is, there's other forces involved in that.
I'll say it's so generic, but I'll say my parents. I mean, they're your first, they're the ones who shape you and make you and teach you how to love and how to feel pain and happiness and cope, and it's everything from birth until you're, in your teen years. That's where you're really forming who you are, and I really got to tip my hat to my parents. They're my heroes.
And on that bombshell, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys so much for coming. The movie's out March 27th.